Reason why my family, fled communism and why so many of the folks that I know left their countries was because the United States is about the rule of law. The law means something. The president, no person is above the law, and no person can unilaterally write the law.
Lawmakers weighing in on the Supreme Court's decision to block the White House's immigration plan. Wyoming Republican Senator John Barrasso joins me from Capitol Hill. Senator, thanks for joining. Paul Ryan already weighed in.
Charles.
He talked about the constitutional aspects of this, the separations of power. I think everyone applauds the rule of law and what happened today. But the issue in of itself is not going to go away. And it does underscore the importance of November's election, doesn't it?
Well, it really does. Look, today's ruling in the Supreme Court, it was a stinging defeat for the president. But this has been a string of defeats for a president who believes he is above the law. We've seen it with the waters of the United States. We've seen it with his clean power plan. We saw it yesterday with a federal judge ruling that the president's fracking rule that affects how we produce energy in this country was illegal. And yet the White House chief of staff not too long ago said that as they go out of office, they're going to go with audacious executive actions. It is time, Charles, for the president to follow the law, not continue to try to push it, stretch it, and ultimately break it. The courts see what the president is doing, and they're acting in the right way.
Well, there's the courts that we go to adjudicate our misunderstandings, and then there's the court of public opinion, which President Obama sort of made overtures to today with this hastily put together reaction to this. I don't know if you saw the president and heard what he had to say, but he talked about November being important for the Democrats and others, and he brought up, I guess, sort of the fairness aspect of this, all the elements that have been part of his administration, which has been social justice, rewriting the wrongs of yesteryear, making America a fair place for everyone. What do you make of that, the court of public opinion, how this may play out?
Well, this election, 2016, is so consequential, Charles, because it's not just one Supreme Court justice with Scalia. There's a likelihood of additional Supreme Court openings occurring with that next president being able to make those nominations to the United States Senate. So this consequential election is about all three branches of government, the presidency, the Congress, which is going to be determined, as well as the Supreme Court. So I think that's why it's that much more important that we get this right in November and elect a conservative president who will do the right thing in terms of pointing people to the Supreme Court, right, who will follow the law, not rewrite the law.
And I do want to say, though, I think in addition to this, sir, a lot of people are already saying that maybe this will be a wake-up call to Congress, with all due respect, Republicans in Congress, to put up more of a fight, because it's one thing to have an imperialistic president, but the more Congress cedes control or doesn't push back, the more tyranny you're going to see from the executive branch. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I think people all around the country and all your viewers know, Charles, that had we buckled under to the president and held hearings and gone through with the appointment of the president's nominee to the Supreme Court, this ruling would have gone the other way. So it is very clear today that Republicans and the unity and being in the majority in the United States Senate made a fundamental difference in the way that that court ruled today. If a Democrat appointee would have been there, I think the ruling would have gone the other way. So if there is any argument for why it's important to keep the Republican Party in charge of the United States Senate in the majority with its role of advise and consent on Supreme Court justices, this ruling today, I think, is very consequential.
Sir, just coming over the wires now, the Democrats have ended their sit-in over gun control. Just want your thoughts on the whole thing. I mean, it's a bizarre episode the last 24 hours.
Well, I think it was a bizarre episode. It was really, in my opinion, out there to get attention rather than actually to deal with the problems of terrorism that face our country. That is the threat that we face from ISIS, from self-radicalized terrorists who want to kill us. And then the president won't even call them radical Islamists. You know, that tells you that he's not really focused on the enemy, on ISIS, on those people who are trying to kill us and send people here as terrorists to the United States, but also to radicalize people who are U.S. citizens through the internet and other means to take the fight to the American people. So I think the president has really been absent in the need to fight the real enemy and is distracting with this focus that he's trying to go to.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I think the Democrats, who may have had some momentum after Orlando, overplayed their hand with this one. Senator Barrasso, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Charles.
Amnesty plan.